Welcome to the show. Well, politics is past us for a while, and I bet we're all breathing a little easier. I know I am. And we've been doing political shows for, a couple of months now. So I thought, what would be a nice break from politics? So, how about art? So I've thought of my friend John Stromme and said, John, would you come be on the show? And thank you for being here.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
A nice break from from all the politics. And I thought I asked you earlier, is your art political?
No.
Yeah, good. So I'm glad to hear it.
I'm not very good at politics, actually. You're the only politician I know.
Okay, well, this is obviously taking up, a lot of the screen here and people's attention. Mm-hmm. But let's hold off in talking about her and just talk about you for a little while.
Sure.
Where were you born?
I was born in Seattle, Washington at Northgate Hospital.
In Seattle?
Yeah.
And did you have a wide tour of the country or just kind of moved
No, I grew up in Seattle and then just started moving north, after I got married. We that's pretty common, I think. You start moving further out to get better deals. And so we did that, and then I eventually ended up here.
Okay.
But
in
that's
downtown
kind of
Linda.
another story. Yeah.
Well, let's back up then. Were you an artist your whole life? Were you drawing
Yeah.
in second, third, fourth, fifth grade? You were outstanding at art?
I think I always was drawing, but when I was in school, it became a problem because I was drawing and not doing the schoolwork. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't paying attention either, so I was just drawing. And then a parent-teacher conference that was, I was exposed. And so my mom's response to that, my saintly mother's response, was to send me to art school that summer. And so that's where I learned how to paint with oils. Mm-hmm. And I was 12 years old at the time. And then it just was always there in the background and followed me.
So you took to it. You thought, this is great.
Yeah.
And you've been painting. You must have a lot of paintings, or your mom has a lot of paintings in the garage. Or what happened to all this?
I wish I had the first one I ever painted, but I think my mom wasn't very sentimental, and I'm not either, actually. But I think she probably ash canned it somewhere along the lines. But yeah, I've painted quite a number of paintings.
Now, can you give us an idea? It's been a lot of years then. How have you... I have a friend that took up painting. He started with mm-hmm. furniture, interesting interiors. Yeah. And then he went to landscapes, and then beautiful women, and mm-hmm. then horses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of evolved into just a whole bunch of different, very distinct
mm-hmm.
venues.
Mm-hmm.
How would you compare yourself to that?
That's a good question. I kind of just paint whatever I feel like, mostly, mm-hmm. to be honest. I can't say that I've had some grand plan, but I just, I love to do it, and I love to do a lot of it in a lot of different ways. And, the traditional artist will settle on one style, and then that's the style they paint, and that's the style they market, and nothing else. But I have a short attention span, so I don't want to do that. And I get bored if I paint a style for more than 3 or 4 paintings. I want to paint a different style, and so I paint quite a number of different styles, and I enjoy all of it. So. And it's worked out well for me, actually, because, I'm a one-man gallery, and I don't know who's coming in. Mm-hmm. That's not why I did it. Mm-hmm. I do it because that's what I like to do. But, I don't have any idea about who's going to come through the door. So as it's worked out, I think I've gotten a lot of commissions and a lot of sales because I have a wide variety to offer. And that makes me not very appealing for your traditional galleries because I do all these different things, but I'm not too bothered by that. So,
Do you hang in other galleries, or you?
yeah, I'm in a gallery in Carson City, actually. And I was down there not too long ago and had a pretty successful show with them. And they're not bothered by my all my activities, but
Your diversity.
yeah, and they're great guys. They're right in the heart of Carson City, and they do a really good job, and so happy with that. And that's it for right now. I've got a few paintings here and there at different friends' shops and stuff, but and I have some in the Barbary restaurant and things like that.
Well, yeah, you're right downtown McMinnville. Your studio is in the old Penny's building.
Yeah.
And
correct.
I remember when it was the Penny's building. I've been around a while.
Yeah.
And where you are was the balcony where they had the children's clothes.
Yep,
Because I went
correct.
up there when the kids were little to shop
Yeah.
for them. And of course, it looks a lot different now. So downstairs is the Pinot Vista.
Pinot Vista.
This
Yeah.
is kitty corner from McMiniman's, right across the street from Northwest Food and Gifts, and Serendipity, that intersection.
Yeah, right there.
So you go in the front, you get some wine at Pinot Vista, and then you walk up the back stairs,
Yep.
the same stairs that used to go up to the balcony.
There you go.
And well, we've got a picture of your
Yeah.
gallery. We'll get to that later.
Sure.
All right. So if somebody shows up, they're going to see this young lady.
Yeah, this is a painting of, and I wish I could tell you the girl's name, but Tara Lepp is a good friend of mine, and she is works at an orphanage, and these kids have all been, this is in Kenya, I think I said that. These kids have all been displaced by, AIDS or something like that, and some kind of turmoil or something. So they raise these kids and teach them. And in Kenya, if you don't pay for school, you don't go to school. And so it's very likely that this little girl and the kids in that school are probably going to be the next leaders of that country, because they're some of the few people actually getting an education there. So that's, and this painting is actually a fundraiser. So when I sell this painting, the money will go to Tara, and she will use it to get herself a transportation. She needs a new vehicle down there so she can actually work further out.
Now, your friend Tara lives in Nigeria. Kenya,
Kenya,
in
correct.
Kenya.
Yeah, and she's from here. She was a trainer at Linfield College.
So this is her life now. I mean,
This is
what
it
she
for her
does.
full time. Yeah, she retired, and so I think it's really admirable.
And this, you painted this from a picture?
Yes, correct. Yeah, it was.
And, well, okay, let me say that again. That you're supporting this orphanage in
Yeah,
Kenya
yeah.
through your work.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
And tell me about.
I won't support it until somebody buys it.
Okay.
Just in case any of you are interested.
This is non-commercial TV.
Sorry.
But okay, tell me about what went through your mind while you were doing this image.
Dear Lord, please don't let me screw it up.
Uh-huh.
I've never painted a person of color before. And so that was interesting. It was actually no different at all. It was just different colors. So it wasn't the hurdle that I had imagined in my mind. It's just like if you never painted an Asian person and all of a sudden but actually is no difference. Shape is shape, color is color. So
That reminds me of a conversation we had when I was in your studio. I asked about the difference between you and me, meaning that I don't consider myself an artist, and I kind of think that artists are special, and you kind of pushed back on that a little bit.
Well, we're just like it's just a skill you learn, It's just like everything else.
That's what you said.
It's not
it's
You know,
a
it's not
skill.
this big mystical thing, you know. I don't want to wear it like some mantle, you know. I enjoy it. I love it. I try to paint, every painting I do, I try to paint better than the last one I painted. But you could take that same formula and apply it to anything in life, and you'd have some level of success. But as far as being, it's probably advantageous if you're born with a bent towards visual things. But it's outside of that, you know, it's just, another occupation, but I just happen to love it.
Now, you had talked about the skill. It's a skill that you learn, and you think of it that way because otherwise, if you just had this range of talent, that you felt like that might limit you. But you have the ability to keep learning new things and keep pushing yourself. Now, for example,
Yeah.
portraiture is new to you?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of a funny story. I was painting this track girl she's for this late. I can't remember her name. Anyway, I was painting this image of a girl running on track, and I just had a really hard time with it. I couldn't quite get it right, and it really bugged me. So I thought, I just gotta walk away from this. And then when I came back, I did it with a much more playful attitude. And then things kind of seemed to kind of click into place for me.
You brought some other portraits.
Yeah.
Show us another one.
This one, I have this hero series. And one of my heroes is Mother Teresa. And so this is Mother Teresa. And what I was trying to capture is, Mother Teresa was exposed to a great deal of human suffering in Calcutta. And so I wanted to capture that in the painting. And that's what that painting's all about. I especially enjoy painting portraits in black and white. There's something about black and white that just seems to intensify the expression.
Yeah, I see a lot of pain in the eyes. You know what I see in the mouth? Almost is anger. Almost like
I think she had some of that. I think she was frustrated.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't speak with a lot of knowledge about it, but I get that impression.
Yeah. So what were you thinking when you painted this?
I prayed all the way through it, from one end to the other. I just prayed, God, don't let me mess this up. Help me figure this out. It was a total prayer from start to finish, and that's not something I normally do. Actually, maybe I should do more of it. But it was. I have a great deal of respect for her. My definition, she's in the hero series, and in the hero series, my definition of a hero is a person that would lay down their life for others, that would, place the needs of others above their own. And so that, to me, is my definition of it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that is captivating.
thank you. I like the painting a lot, actually.
Well, I hate to say it, but what else you got? It's just incredible. I don't want to say that's enough because it's not.
This, I'll jump a little bit here. This is Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway, he doesn't really fit in the hero series, although he is an amazing man, fascinating man, and if I was going to try to push him into the hero series, he had kind of this heart for, he didn't like to see underdogs get pushed around. Politically, he'd get real upset if he felt like a lower class people were being abused. And so, but he's just a fascinating character, and more of a rascal than a hero, but I like him.
How you chose to do this, a real close-up. We can't see the edges.
Yeah, I didn't.
He's almost like in a box or looking out of
Yeah.
a window.
Yeah,
What were you thinking there?
You know, I just kind of zoomed in on the image that I was using, and I liked the way it looked, and I think it's not generally what you would see. Generally, you wouldn't see a close-up look of the face, and oftentimes when I paint, I like portions of things, not always the whole thing, you know, and that's kind of where this is coming from, you know. I do that a lot in my paintings.
When people go into the studio, they'll see examples of that where you do close-ups of cars, older cars.
Yeah,
You'll do a
yeah.
fender, a headlight, a grill, and
Yeah, I like
yeah,
that.
I get it. I
And
get it.
I like it from the standpoint of, you know, we go through life and we see something and we go, oh, look at that great big car. But I like the concept of seeing beauty in small things or, you know, in the simple, smaller things as opposed to always the big picture.
And so there, you had a lot of pictures that you had of Hemingway, and you chose this one. You saw pictures of him
Yeah,
older, younger.
Yeah, I just kind
This-
of went through a
this-
whole bunch of them and found I liked this one for some reason. I liked his expression.
Well, the eyes really, really do pop. Is there a little bit of color there?
I don't think so on this one.
The eyes
I
just.
didn't bring one that sometimes what I'll do is I'll go on the hot spots of the face, like in Hemingway's case, it probably the nose and the cheeks because he was always drinking a lot. But and I'll heat him up with a wash of color. And I did one with Tolstoy that way, and I also did one of Claude Monet that way. So I didn't do it on this one. No, I didn't.
Well, we've got more. We've got
Yeah.
ones on the screen. We've
This
got-
one is, this next one is one of my favorites, actually. This image is a public domain image, as all of these are. This image was the last, arguably, there's a little debate on this, but arguably this was the last photo taken of Lincoln before John Wilkes Booth assassinated him at the theater. And I love this. When I found this image, I just fell in love with it because you could just see the anguish and torment and just the horrible things that Lincoln had to go through during the Civil War. And it's just all over his face. There's no, and you know, he's gaunt. He was kind of gaunt anyway,
Like the
but he's
life is
really
sucked
gaunt.
out of him,
Yeah,
it
he's
feels like. He's just been reduced.
Exactly, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's like somebody, and you know, I just love the, and his hair's all messed up, and that's the way it was when they took that image of him, and I thought it really expressed what he went through.
It's not romanticized at all, like you see so many times.
Right, yeah, he just, you know, and, you know, what would life be like now without him?
I see his eyebrow raised. Just there's a
I
little
know,
bit
it's
of
interesting,
there's a
isn't
little
it?
character there.
Yeah,
and
it's
that
like
kind of
almost like he wanted to smile. It was, you know,
Yeah,
it's like
there's
that poem. You want to smile, but you have to sigh. You know.
that gives a lot of depth to that. What's going on there?
And he has a great bone structure too. That's the other thing about him. It just fascinating, man.
I saw a film once, Life of Lincoln, and the sculptor actually created a bust of him out of clay while he spoke about Lincoln. How long does it take you to do a painting? Is it all over the place, or you knock them out
Well,
in
you
a
know,
day?
the standard line for an artist is all my life, because we're afraid that you're not going to want to pay if we tell you how fast we paint them. I paint pretty fast. This one was probably I don't know, 2 hours maybe,
Oh my gosh,
maybe 3.
That's
I'm not really
incredible.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't keep track of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like to count stuff.
But you go. You don't sit back and ponder. You're
No,
going.
it's kind of a sweet spot. You know, when for some reason, I don't really fully understand this, but for some reason, I paint a little better when I'm painting fast. I think because I don't second guess myself when I'm in that mode. So, yeah, I think that's probably what that was.
You got a couple more down there? One more?
This one is Tesla, and like a lot of people, I'm a Tesla fan. Amazing man from Croatia that came here and, wanted to basically give everybody, he invented AC current, and he was at odds with
Edison.
thank you, Edison, and Westinghouse was his kind of his supporter. And when he found, I guess the story goes, when Westinghouse found out that Tesla wanted to give it away for free, that was kind of the end of Tesla at that point. That's when things started to really unravel for him. So, but it's an amazing story, and it can be watched on YouTube anytime.
The lighting on this is interesting. It's kind of harsh. It's like there's a spotlight.
Yeah,
down
well,
here.
I think some of that is just the time, that the photo was taken.
The style.
Yeah, right, and it was a black and white photo, and I, just.
So he made your hero series because he wanted to just kind of give away this invention and have everybody have power.
I think he was genuinely a benevolent guy. I think he really wanted to help mankind.
Oh.
And we're reaping a lot of the benefits, and it's and I just think he was an absolute. When he saw the AC, I believe it was the AC converter, he visualized it in one picture, the whole thing done, complete. And how do you even explain that? How does that even happen?
To make DC direct current into alternating current.
Yeah,
Back
I think it was the AC converter, if I'm talking about this correctly.
Yeah.
And he saw the whole thing completely invented right in front of him. And it was a vision that he had.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's an amazing thing.
So tell me again, there's a story of Tesla that you recommend we look up. What's it?
Oh, you can just go Tesla on YouTube and you'll find it. It's a great story of his life.
All right. We've got some more images you brought in on thumb drive.
Oh, that's right.
Let's see what we've got.
This is
That's a whole different ballgame.
this is a seascape that I painted I like to go out to Rhodes End Beach in Lincoln City. And if you go out there at low tide, which I did here, and I don't know the name of that point out at the end there, but if you hike out to that, it is just absolutely amazing. And the water is just doing all kinds of crazy things in different directions. And you can hike around this point. And on the other side, it doesn't even look like a place that should be from Oregon, but it's a fascinating place to be. So.
Well, I can see it looks like a washing machine there. It's just the waves are going every which way.
Yeah,
there's a lot of motion there, and flow.
This,
all right. Carolyn's moving us along here. She's saying, "Hurry up! You only got 5 minutes left."
This one here was. I used to have a gallery space in the courtyard, in the Bennett Building, and this is the view as it came out and turned to the right. And this is an example of different styles. This painting's been very popular, and it's owned by somebody that lives here in McMinnville. And it just...
it's wild.
After I sold it, everybody came looking for it. It was a funny
What happened to my painting?
Well, it's so funny because sometimes paintings, I wouldn't have believed this, but they wait for their owners to show up. And that was the case here, which is a more mystical thing for me to say than I am a mystical person, but it just seems to work that way.
Wow.
This is the gallery. This is my gallery above Pino Vista in the Mercantile Building. I have 350 paintings there, I believe.
Wow.
Throughout the building. And this is a painting. This painting is funny. This painting, I had done this kind of like orangish, cloudish sky, and then I just set it aside because I didn't have a direction. And one day I came over and I just put a straight line on the right side, and that straight line was that tree, and became what it is now.
It looks like a fantasy.
Yeah, it kind of took on its own life. And so
not particular. Okay, go ahead.
this is funny because this is a painting of one of the apartments in Denny Elmer's building, and Denny and Jerry's building. And the funny thing about it is when this sold, the gal came and she had to have it and bought it, and she said, where is this? And I said, well, it's such and such a place. And as it turned out, that was her son's apartment.
Oh.
And she bought it unknowingly.
So the painting was waiting for
Yeah.
its owner.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's good.
This is a painting of, this photo didn't turn out that great, but this is a painting of Rembrandt. And I like to paint, Rembrandt is considered to be one of the best portrait artists to ever live. And so this is a copy of his work, and I did that because you learn, in that process.
The wrinkles around the eyes there were so.
Yeah, and that was me that we just.
Oh yeah,
passed.
she was going back to get Rembrandt there. I just see
okay.
those brush strokes saying so much about aging the eyes. And that's incredible.
So that's me. That's a self-portrait.
Now that seems a little more whimsical than the last one. How would you describe the mood there?
I don't know. I just, it's easier to paint yourself because you can reach up and touch your face and see this, feel the structure of your face.
Now you don't have purple lip. I guess there's not purple under your lips though. So you've kind of tricked this. I mean, you've kind of turned up the color.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question. This is Dan Seymour and John Carvello. They are playing at Pino Vista. And that's an image that hangs that Rich Washburn owns, and it hangs on his wall there. This painting I just finished. This is the view from Youngberg Hill. And this is a commissioned painting that is big. It's 65 inches wide by 35 inches tall. And it's a big one.
And people at Youngberg Hill commissioned it?
No. A gentleman that lives in Sherwood.
Oh. And so you've sold this baby. It's gone.
Well, I have it, but I'll be delivering it in a week when it dries.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
So you've gone to full-time painting in the last how many years?
10 years. Yeah.
And before that?
Started 10 years ago, and then eventually just became full-time.
Yeah.
And before that, I owned businesses.
As an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Hardworking guy. You're not.
I like to think so.
You're not an artiste. You're a painter, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Well, John, we're out of time. It's been great to have you today.
Thank
you so
really
much. It's
good
been
to see
very
you,
restful, and I feel restored. Thank you.
That was fun.